Lewes. Local webcasting for a worldwide audience.
Good morning. You're listening to Radio Lewes, where the music matters, and welcome to Thursday Live, coming to you from the Malling studio, of course, because we're all still stuck at home. I've got a great list of music for you today. I'm going to try something very new, never done it before. I'm hoping to have a phone guest. I hope it works anyway. But we're going to start the show with a brand new track by Nate Austin. I've played him before, and he has been into the studio. He's even recorded one of his music videos at Westgate Chapel. This is a new one. It's called Too Trapped.
You go like this, you go like that, with all the questions, and just like that. You don't like this, you don't like that. You're always asking me who is that, and you're too stiff, and I'm laid back. I hear your name and I can't relax. You can't do this, you can't do that. We both know this is over, sometimes I feel too trapped. These things were never this way before now. Every second is a lesson to save this all now. And I think it's just a test for the bravest all now. And I'll save it for the best who can say it all. You wanna know where I've been, wanna know who I've seen. Every single time I'm away, you keep on asking. I'm getting sick of the times, I think I'm changing the tune. I know I'm not gonna wait, cause I've got nothing to lose. You go like this, you go like that, with all the questions, and just like that. You don't like this, you don't like that. You're always asking me who is that. You're too stiff, and I'm laid back. I hear your name and I can't relax. I can't do this, I can't do that. We both know this is over, sometimes I feel too trapped. I'm getting sick of the games that been played. Every second where I'm guessing mistakes that I've made. And I reckon where I'm stressing with hopes that I'll stay. And I'll cling up on a session to hear me now. Every time you're starting, when you're not so charming, when I think about what we say, we're always arguing. I'm getting sick of the ties, I think I'm changing the news. So get me something to stay, cause I've got nothing for you. You go like this, you go like that, with all the questions, and just like that. You don't like this, you don't like that. You're always asking me who is that. You're too stiff, and I'm laid back. I hear your name and I can't relax. I can't do this, I can't do that. We both know this is over, sometimes I feel too trapped. 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 Sometimes I feel too every turn that I place, every time an excuse, when you can't find a trace. Every time that I'm bruised, every person I meet, every look at my phone, every message I get, you wanna pick it up, you wanna know where I've been, wanna know who I've seen. Every single time I'm away, you keep on asking. I think you're sick of the mind, you can't handle the truth, and with that look at your face, oh God, here we are. You go like this, you go like that, with all the questions, and just like that. You don't like this, you don't like that. You're always asking me who is that, cause you're too stiff, and I'm laid back. I hear your name and I can't relax. I can't do this, I can't do that. We both know this is over, sometimes they go like this, you go like that, with all the questions, and just like that. You don't like this, you don't like that. You're always asking me who is that, cause you're too stiff, and I'm laid back. I hear your name and I can't relax. I can't do this, I can't do that. We both know this is over, sometimes I feel too trapped.
That is the new track from Nate Austin, and it seems to be the title track from an album. He didn't tell me that. You can find it everywhere. You can find a streaming or download service. You can find all of his back catalogue on just about every platform you can think of as well. Thanks for that, Nate. I'll tell you what, when we get back in the studio, you'll have to come back in and tell us all about it. I'm going to continue on with some Greta Van Fleet now.
This is for
Black Smoke Rising. That was the title track to Fleet's first studio EP from April 2017. I know Shy's a big fan. He went to see them, rubbed my nose in it that he went to see them. He's seen them now, he can't do that anymore. Some more music now, this is Blur. Girls and Boys from 1994 now, Blur, and that was the lead single from their third studio album, Park Life, charting at number 5 in the UK singles charts. It was their first top 5 hit and their most successful single until Country House reached number 1 the following year. Now, I am going to be trying something a bit different later on. I thought, wouldn't it be great to hear from some of the other Radio Lewis DJs who are working at home to find out how they're coping with this very strange and mad world we're living in right now, and perhaps pick a track or two. And I do have someone waiting to take a call, and that's Steve Brooks of the Vapor Trails. I'm going to give you another track now and some shameless self-promotion, and then we'll see what happens.
Long as my heart is beating, someone's gotta hate. It's never gonna change. Gets hotter every day. It's a hell of a place to keep your heart from freezing, to keep yourself believing. But I won't run. I'm not afraid. I look 'em in the eye, gonna hear me say it. My life, my love, my sex, my drug, my lust. My God, it ain't no sin. Can I get it? Can I get an amen? My grace, my church, my pain, my tears, my hurt. My God, I'll say it again. Can I get it? Can I get an amen? Can I get it? Can I get an amen? Can I get it? Can I get an amen? Life is gonna kill, faith is gonna blind, hope is gonna fade, the truth is gonna lie. Sometimes there's no reason to justify the meaning. But I won't run, I'm not ashamed. It's gonna take more than this for me to break. My life, my love, my sex, my drug, my lust. My God, it ain't no sin. Can I get it? Can I get an amen? My grace, my church, my pain, my tears, my hurt. My God, I say it again. Can I get it? Can I get an amen? Can I get it? Can I get an amen? Can I get it? Can I get an amen? My life, my love, my sex, my drug, my love. My life, my love, my sex, my drug, my lust. My God, it ain't no sin. Can I get it? Can I get an amen? My grace, my church, my pain, my tears, my hurt. My God, I'll say it again. Can I get it? Can I get an amen? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can I get an amen? Can I get it? Can I get an amen?
That's Hailstorm and Amen, the second single from their third studio album, Into the Wildlife. And it is an amazing album. I love it. In fact, they're one of those bands that every time they create a new album, it is much better than the last, even though you thought the last one was brilliant. And I love that. I don't know how they're going to top the last one, but I'm sure they will. I think it's about time we had a bit of shameless self-promotion. And this is a nod to Swazi, who's been so valiantly doing Saturday Live. Even though last week we had some technical issues, she still pulled it off. This is Unleash You're in a Warrior.
I haven't had to gate crash the studio for this one, because Swazi's just finished. Swazi, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine. I've been wanting to talk to you about your Warrior podcast, because you're not doing something for the weekend anymore.
No, I haven't done that for quite a while.
So I need another bit of shameless self-promotion.
Happy to oblige.
So we need to talk about Warrior.
Yeah.
What is it? What's it about?
So I came up with the idea of Warrior. I kind of wanted to do something around mental health, and it's something that I've kind of discussed informally. This is really about me encapsulating the conversations that I've had with people I know about the things that we all struggle with. You know, this realisation that you're not the only person that feels depressed, you're not the only person that feels low, that you're not the only person that's experienced grief, and the realisation that actually that collective sharing of experience can really help people. And I wanted to capture that in a way that if somebody else was thinking, I really want to get some help with this, and I'm not saying it's the solution, but what I'm saying is it's a couple of people talking about our experience and saying, here are the things that helped us, and hoping it helps someone else.
Well, it's brilliant. I mean, it doesn't matter whether what you're talking about is going to help. It's the fact that somebody might just pick up that podcast because it might.
Yeah, I hope so.
Or at least encourage them on further. So how long has this been going, the Warrior, now?
I've been doing it, I think, for probably about 6 months, because I've got 6 of them in the can already. So the ones that I've done so far have been around self-care. I've done one on grief, which we did together. I did one on letting go. Being alone, which was one I spoke to Jules about, and around Christmas time, because that's quite sort of meaningful around then. I did one where I talked about alcohol and alcohol dependency, and the most recent one was talking about inner critic. So yeah, I try to do one a month. That's a kind of rough estimate.
Well, that's not unachievable, is it?
No.
And I must say that they are all still available on the website. Each one will be available on all the other platforms for a brief time, and then you can find them in the Warrior Podcast folder on the website. But not only do you do this fantastic self-help help others podcast, you're also saving me from coming in every Saturday and saving the listeners from the sound of my voice for a little while by doing Saturday Live.
Yeah, I like to give you a lie-in by not having one myself.
That's very considerate of you. Thank you very much. I don't get one.
Oh,
I still have to get up at the same time every day to feed the dogs.
Well, yeah, I feel the same about having children. Apparently they need feeding every day. Who told me that when I first started being a parent? No one. Yeah, I love doing Saturday Live. I love the fact that it is live, the fact that people engage with you when you're on air. I like the fact that you have to think about something and plan ahead for 2 hours. So if there's a big storm coming, I find songs that are stormy. You know, if it's coming up to Christmas, I try not to be too cliched. But yeah, I like the thematic nature. I like the fact that it's always different.
Well, it's brilliant, the live show. I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm only joking about not wanting to do every Saturday. But it has been nice to have some Saturdays off. Swazi, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
It was 1989, my thoughts were short, my hair was long. Caught somewhere between a boy and man. She was 17 and she was far from in between. It was summertime in northern Michigan. Splashing through the sandbar, talking by the campfire. It's the simple things in life, like when and where. We didn't have no internet, but man, I never will forget the way the moonlight shined upon her hair. And we were trying different things, and we were smoking funny things, making love out by the lake to our favorite song. Sipping whiskey out the bottle, not thinking about tomorrow, singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long. Singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long. Catching walleye from the dock, watching the waves roll off the rocks. She'll forever hold a spot inside my soul. We'd blister in the sun, we couldn't wait for night to come to hit that sand and play some rock and roll. While we were trying different things, and we were smoking funny things, making love out by the lake to our favorite song. Sipping whiskey Sometimes I hear that song and I'll start to sing along and think, man, I'd love to see that girl again. Man, I'd like to see that girl again. And we were trying different things, and we were smoking funny things, making love out by the lake to our favorite song, sipping whiskey out the bottle, not thinking about tomorrow, singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long. We were trying different things, and we were smoking funny things, making love out by the lake to our favorite songs, sipping whiskey out the bottle, not thinking about tomorrow, singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long, 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 singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long. Singing about Sweet Home Alabama, yeah.
Some light-hearted nonsense there from Kid Rock all summer long. From the album Rock and Roll Jesus. Never quite sure about that title, but that was from 2008, of course. Now, I've got some another track to play you. This one's just for Si, and I'm going to see if I can get Steve Brooks on the phone. This is The Darkness.
Don't waste my time with daydreams. I'm living my life now. Every
Open Fire from the Darkness, from their fourth studio album, Last of Our Kind, from 2015. Now, I'm having a bit of trouble connecting with Steve. I don't know why. We're going to try and sort that out while you listen to this.
What does that say? The wizard.
Now, I command thee to buy this rotating plastic demon, or I will curse thee to the end of time. So.
I love that little bit at the end. That's Paul Hardcastle's The Wizard, and that was the top of the Pops theme for years, originally from 1986. And I'm very pleased to say I have got Steve Brooks on the line. Good morning, Steve. How you doing?
Oh, morning, Ben. Morning, Ben. I thought that was The Exorcist for a moment.
No, just Paul Hardcastle.
or perhaps you had a sore throat. I don't know. But, yeah.
No sore throat. I'm perfectly well.
Yeah.
So, the idea, and it seems to be working, was to get Radio Lewes DJs on the phone and get them to tell us what they've been doing to stave off the craziness while they've been stuck indoors. And I do know that you've been stuck in more than most, Steve, because you're in the vulnerable category.
I am, yes. I've been in for, I think it's 36 days now.
Wow.
Well, yeah, but, keeping myself busy, just preparing today's Vapor Trails. And to be honest, what's really weird is that I'm getting many more requests than I used to. And I think that's because people are just stuck indoors. So they go on Facebook or whatever, see a theme I put up, and I'm having to do like 2 shows on a particular theme. That's what I'm doing today. So I did one half last week, and I'm doing another one this week. So it's great, really.
Oh, bonus. So you get people are even giving you your material.
Well, exactly, yeah. less thinking for me. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were just having a chat while the Wizard was playing, and I've just told Steve that I really don't know what day it is most of the time, what time it is or anything, except for those things that the dogs tell me it's time for, like breakfast.
Well, yeah. My son's much the same. He needs slightly less walking, but he's up at 6:30 every day. So that's my alarm clock.
I would hazard a guess that he's much less capable of amusing himself, though. Possibly. We've got plenty of video games and stuff for him. Say video games, Xbox. What am I talking about? Video doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, he's quite happy, really. Yeah. So, but yeah, we're doing all right. I am actually working from home as well, so I have to answer emails every few days. Oh.
So that's my furlough as the dictionary.
Well,
anyway,
it could be worse.
But yeah, it could be a downside worse. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's all right doing that. I've got my research in Western films that I do on the side as well. So watching lots of Westerns at the moment. So actually, this lockdown's doing me great.
I am a bit worried that I'm going to get so used to this I won't want to go back to normal life, though.
Well, there is that, yeah. I must admit, yeah. That will be comes round, but yeah, no, things are going fine. So
brilliant.
Yeah. The theme of Vapor Trails today is favourite intros, and the other thing I've done is I used to do a compilation of choice, and I kind of asked the listeners to do their own, or suggest ones, and I've got loads booked for the next 6 weeks, I think.
Oh, cool. Well, I've got a favourite intro for you.
No, what's that then, mate?
It's Guns N' Roses' Welcome to the Jungle. I think it's the best intro in the world.
Oh, right, do you know what? I haven't got that one written down here. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it would be.
No, I tell you what, it really is difficult trying to fit everything in for everyone, but yeah, no, it's going really well. So unfortunately, not unfortunately, but the compilation of choices are actually bringing up lots of stuff that I don't normally play. So I've even got Genesis today.
Oh dear!
I know.
You'll need to go and sit in a dark room after that one, won't you?
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah. I can always take a wander out the kitchen while it's on.
I know there may be some Genesis fans listening, but
yes, possibly. Yeah.
I really don't mind offending those people. They need to broaden their musical choices, in my humble opinion.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Talking of musical choices, you picked a track for us.
Yes. Because I've been stuck in for like the last, I don't know, what's it coming around 5 weeks or so. I spend a lot of time just looking out the kitchen window, watching the world go by. I live in a flat that's 2 floors up, so we don't have any garden space, and I'm just kind of like literally staring out the kitchen all the time. And the track I've picked is the Jams' Life from a Window, which pretty much sums up everything at the moment.
Brilliant. I think we should play it, don't you?
Yes, mate. Cheers.
Looking from a hilltop, watching from a lighthouse, just dreaming. Up here I can see the world. Sometimes it don't look nice. That's okay. Light from a window, I'm just taking in a view. Light from a window, observing everything around you. Staring at a gray sky. Ooh, try to paint it blue, tears blue. Light from a window, I'm just taking in a view. Light from
You go to Jam, Life from a Window. Steve, you can tell me about that one. It was your pick.
Yeah, that's on their second album, This Is the Modern World, for about 1977, I think. I think they did 2 albums in 1 year. And it's kind of fairly overlooked, that album. But, I still really like it. And, they were a big influence on me at school and stuff. But, thanks for playing that, Ben. That's great. We were just saying, actually, that I was hoping to get Cy round to decorate the kitchen to get the ambience of the studio. With all his pictures.
I'll give you some inspiration. Steve, thank you very much for your time this morning. I know you're busy, you got shows to record today. Yeah. Keep up the good work and stay safe.
And you, Ben. Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, I need to get this. I don't know what's going on with my screen at the moment. I can't get at... There it is, the Ramones. The Ramones and I Wanna Be Sedated from 1978 from the album Road to Ruin. I haven't heard that in a very long time, but my old mate Neil used to love that tune. I've got one more for you before some more shameless self-promotion, and this is a great tune by the Stripes.
Lives in 54. Always got a teacup when she knocks upon my door. She just wants some milk and sugar, but all I want is her. Blue collar Jane, my girl, you're causing quite a stir. How we could be B-L-U-E C-O-L-L-A-O-J-A-N-E. Oh baby, please, if you could see, then you'd agree that I love blue collar Jane and she loves me. Blue collar Jane, always in your town, never wears her hair up cause she's always dressing down. We got a four-wheel drive, you know that's how she gets around. Blue collar Jane, my girl, you knock me to the ground. that's how she gets around. Blue collar J, my girl, you knock me to the ground. Now we could be B-L-U-E, C-O-L-L-A-O-J-A-N-E. Oh baby please, if you could see, then you'd agree that I love blue collar Jane and she loves me. That I love blue collar Jane and she loves me. That I love blue collar Jane and she loves me.
That's Stripes and Blue Collar Jane, and can you believe that that single only got to number 125 on the UK charts? That is criminal. Really criminal. I am sad to say they have split up. I do sort of live in hope that they may reform, because I do think they were brilliant, and I didn't get to hear them until they'd split, which was always a sad occurrence. But I do love a bit of the Stripes, and the album of course was Snapshot. Now it is time for some more shameless self-promotion, and we're going to take a trip to the A&E department.
By now you know what these little interviews are all about. I call them shameless self-promotion, and I'm very pleased to say I've gate-crashed the studio again and got hold of Lisa Lyles. Lisa, how are you?
All right, thank you.
We haven't had one of these chats for a very long time, so I'd like you to tell us what your show is all about, the type of music you're playing.
Okay, so I present the A&E show, so nothing to do with hospitals. It stands for the Alternative Electronic Show. It's anything a bit out of the ordinary, so not played on mainstream radio so much. So I like a bit of post-punk, dark wave, synth pop, and a bit of Italo disco thrown in there as well on psych. But anything which takes my fancy, really.
So what does it include with all of that said?
Yeah, but I play lots of new releases and stuff from around the globe as well, and maybe a song or two you might not have heard for a while. And I also like a really good remix. And I'd announce news of gigs coming up in the area, which does extend to London as well if it's a good gig.
Oh, brilliant. I always like to ask DJs how they found out about us and how they joined, in case anybody listening is thinking, I could do that.
Good idea.
How did you find out
It's
about
a bit of a roundabout way, really. I read about a short course that John here was running on doing radio presenting and news sort of reporting in the area. But he also mentioned that, if you're on Spotify, then you can do your own music show. So I came back to that a bit later when I was on Spotify, and I thought I'd love to give that a go and see what it's like to have a radio show.
Well, you're certainly producing a very good show. You've been here quite a while now, and I think it's fantastic. So where can we hear your wonderful show?
It goes out as a podcast on Spotify from every Tuesday, so there's one a week, and you can also find it under radiolewes.org as well on the website, along with lots of other great shows from my fellow presenters.
High praise indeed. You can basically find Radio Lewes anywhere you can get a Wi-Fi connection. Lisa, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
That was The Who, of course, with Who Are You? The title track to their 8th studio album. Sadly, the last album to feature Keith Moon, who died 3 weeks after it was released. And of course, that track was used for the theme to the original series of CSI. Great tune from 1977. I'm going to follow one I haven't played in ages. This is Yellow.
From Palm Springs, reporting for NBC Sports of America. 20 seconds to the start of the 31st Formula race.
From 1988, that was the Swedish electronic band Yellow with The Race. From their album Flag. I'm afraid I can't find a chart position. I do remember it being absolutely everywhere at the time. Just a shame I can't find it. Never mind, I've got a couple more tracks for you before the end. I'm going to run over slightly, I think. This is The Animals.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun.
My
House of the Rising Sun there from the Animals from 1964 from their self-titled album. And that's it, I'm out of time. Thank you so much for listening. My thanks for Steve for stepping in, being a guinea pig to test to see if we could have somebody on the phone. I think it worked rather well. And massive thank you to everybody out there who's designated a key worker, all those people keeping just life running for us, keeping the supermarkets open, collecting our rubbish, and of course all the NHS and care workers doing a sterling job. I've been Ben Fuller. This has been Thursday Live here on Radio Lewes, where the music matters. I'm going to leave you with Freddie Mercury and Montserrat Caballé. Till next time, bye-bye.
Barcelona, Barcelona. Barcelona, Barcelona. Viva! This perfect dream. This dream was me and you. I want all the world to see. Miracle sensation, my guide and inspiration. Now my dream is slowly coming true. The wind is a gentle breeze. The bells are ringing out. They're calling us together, guiding us forever. Wish my dream would never go away. Barcelona, it was the first night that we met. Barcelona, how can I forget the moment that you stepped into the room? You took my breath away. Barcelona, God willing, we will meet again someday. Let the songs begin. Let the music play. Make the voices sing. Start the celebrations. And cry, and take the foundations from the sky.
Radio Lewes. Local community webcasting.